is. All right. So Skull and Bones is actually going to go into a closed beta. We are going to actually get our hands, potentially, on Skull and Bones. There's a registration site. You can go there, and I assume you'll have to give, like, your email or whatever. I don't actually know what the registration process entails, but you'll have to go through a process and
Well, if it
sign up
entails
for
using Uplay, then I don't want to do it.
You're going to have to use Uplay. It's a guarantee you're going to use Uplay. I think you just have to sign in with your account. Got it. So you sign in with your Ubisoft account, which means you're going to use Uplay. But you'll get to play for a weekend. You get to play Skull and Bones, the game that's 10 years in the making. Which is crazy to say, but
like, there is no chance this game is actually good, right?
I think there's no chance it's good on release. I think there's a small probability that it can get fine-tuned after about a year to be okay. Because, like, okay, let me just pause for a second on that. Sea of Thieves on release was not it for people.
No.
But it took a little bit of time. So I think this is going to... The best case scenario for this game is going to be that. It's going to be... I think it's going to be not good on release, and they're going to fine-tune it over, like, a year or two, and then it's going to be all right.
Because it is exceptionally rare for a game to be in development this long, and from all we know, go through this much development hell and actually be good on release.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be good at all.
Pretty much never happens.
I don't think it's going to be good, but I think its best case scenario is it's going to, like, look to Sea of Thieves path, which is like, okay, it took us a little bit, but we got there eventually. And Sea of Thieves is still played pretty well. So
and they still update, like, you know, they usually show it at Xbox, game showcases.
Didn't
like the one that happened.
Yeah, they showed it this year.
Yeah, they had there's the Secret of Monkey Island, I think, was the new update or something.
Oh my god, so. Monkey Island! Wow, okay.
Yeah, Monkey Island.
That's funny. I think that's the path. Skull and Bones. I think the Skull and Bones path is it's going to be bad on release, or even, like, moderately okay. Like, I will say okay is, like, a great situation for them. I think after release, it's got to be, like, updating over the course of a year, and then, maybe it can be like a Sea of Thieves path, which is like, that's a good path. So, the Sea of Thieves has worked out today. It didn't work out at first, but it's worked out now. So, that's a good path. Okay. Anything else? There's not much to say. It's like, it's going into a closed beta. Like,
yeah, I mean, we'll see if people think it's any good when that goes out. I doubt I will play it, but we'll see.
All right. Next. Blizzard stuff. Diablo 4 earned over 666 million. By the way, good call on the PR on that.
Yeah, I feel like they chose that number intentionally.
Yep. In the 5 days following launch, kind of a funny stat, have suffered 316 million in-game deaths. Obviously, more like 317. But, yeah, that's obviously an amazing milestone to hit, to make that much money that quickly.
We also don't know what the ratio is between, like, game sale and in-game. We don't know how many people are buying the microtransactions, basically.
Yeah, they didn't say that, huh? So it could be the case where it's not just game sales, it's the in-game transaction sales.
I'm sure it's a combination of the two, but you don't know if it's like 90-10. Is it actually, like, are a lot of people actually buying the microtransactions? And I don't feel like I've seen that many people with the custom skins, but I feel like I also haven't paid that much attention, nor have I played with people other than Ghost at all. Like, I've done a couple world bosses and a couple of events here and there where you see other people, and haven't really paid attention to their cosmetics, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, too. I've been pretty much just... Well, I haven't played a ton, and I haven't seen a lot that would say, like, oh, that looks like an Uber skin. So, it's still like it's still a big milestone. 6
Oh yeah,
six
I
six
mean
six million.
this game is gonna be. I think it's gonna make. It's already made a lot of money. I'm sure it's gonna make a lot more money over the
Yeah.
course of its life. It is generally well received. There's definitely a faction of people. You know, it got review bombed a little bit on Metacritic. I think the user score is like in the lower 5s or 4s, maybe. Like,
Yep.
you know, but that happens, especially with Blizzard games.
Yep.
There are people who, you know, they just don't like some of the decisions they made or whatever, and we
Yep.
talked about it last week. I don't think the game is perfect. It's not the 9 out of 10 that its metascore would suggest, in
Right.
my opinion, but I think it's like a solid. I'd probably give it a 7, to be honest. Like, I think it's a good game, but there's a lot of room. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. It could be a 9 eventually, but it's gonna take time.
Yep.
Like,
Sure. I don't know yet. Obviously, like I haven't finished through it, but like what I've played, it's what I expected, which is just you slay stuff.
yep, you slay demons.
I mean, like if the story was bad, I don't think I would have cared. But yeah, it's been nice that some of the pieces of the story have been like okay,
Yeah.
and like Lilith is actually more interesting than just like ooh big evil demon lady.
Yep.
There's a little bit more to it, which is nice. So yeah, I mean like that's been kind of nice, but at the same time, it's slaying. You slay creatures. You do cool shit while doing it. Like, there's really not much else to say. Uh, so, I mean, it's obviously great, great achievement, good job. Even like for me, even a 7 out of 10 for them. I think that's perfectly fine. The game just had to do what it was supposed to do, and I think it's doing that. So,
Yeah, it does what it sets out to do
exactly.
quite well. The game is well made. It functioned well. They had a relatively smooth launch. They've been had issues here and there where the game, you know, went down for a little bit or there were disconnection issues. But man, as far as like an always online live service product, I think this is one of the smoothest launches for like any game of that sort that I've ever seen. To
And
be
I'm
honest.
shocked. I am shocked. I said beforehand I thought it would be bad for like a day. It wasn't bad at all for the first day, at least from what I got in when I was in Hawaii. But like I was able to jump in day one with no problems. So I was like, okay, great. I got to play 2 hours. Like that's yeah,
I have never waited in a queue for
yeah.
D4, and I may have gotten disconnected once or twice over the first couple of weeks, and yeah, I mean,
It's been
it's
good.
been for again for an always online live service game, it's been an incredibly smooth launch.
Yep.
Their pre-release stuff with the betas and then the server slam, I think, did them a lot of good actually in terms of stabilizing the server. Because yeah, that the first weekend with the March betas was like a disaster.
That
The
was
first
horrible.
day, the first day.
Yeah, the first day was
Um,
horrible. First day was really bad. Anyway, all right. We have another Blizzard topic to discuss. Unless you have anything else. The chat.
Yeah, they had a dev stream yesterday. It lasted around an hour. It was like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep.
But and they talked about some community topics and updates. They said there's a big like 13-page patch coming in between now and season 1, so in the next 4 to 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
They didn't exactly say what was in it. But they're working stuff. There's going to be balance, there's going to be stability fixes, and I'm sure there's going to be changes. Some of the things that they discussed on the dev stream, some hot topics of contention, are these like EXP grinding spots. Blizzard keeps like the community finds a super OP dungeon that you just go into and like slay the first couple groups of monsters with super high density and then leave and then like reset the game. Blizzard has nerfed all of those and people are pissed. There's like, man, it's so hard to level up, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you're nerfing everything, and basically their response is, yeah, we're trying to even it out so that there's not a couple of specific dungeons that you just farm over and over again. They don't want you to do that. I mean, people are gonna do that, but they don't want you to do that.
Which, like, just to interrupt, if this is Endgame we're talking about,
Yeah, this is endgame. This is endgame.
Yeah,
This is
I don't know why it
level
matters
50.
though. Like they're trying to grind levels. The point is you're trying to get levels. If you're forcing somebody to, they're gonna want to like get the optimal pacing down, which is like if it's farming one, like what? I don't know why that matters. They're already in endgame. Like I don't know why that matters. They're just they're just trying to farm. I don't understand the major issue. But anyway, I'm sure there is like a big design issue there with like, oh well, we don't want people exploiting certain areas, I guess. Only one area.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of just like a game balance thing where they want the
Yeah,
dungeons to be like relatively balanced in terms of like EXP and et cetera, et cetera.
sure.
But the other thing that they added on top of this is, which is going to be an improvement, is that they are going to increase the amount of EXP that nightmare dungeons give. So like the monsters in nightmare dungeons are going to
Right.
give more EXP.
Right.
And also, and they didn't exactly detail how it's going to work, but in the update that's coming before season 1, the big 13-page update or whatever, they're going to make it so that when you use a nightmare sigil, you are able to teleport to the dungeon instead of having to walk to it, which should
That's
have been in
great.
the game
Yeah, that's great.
in the first place, because some of the dungeons that at least they've selected for this first like 30, or I think there's about 30 nightmare dungeons, some of them are not very close to waypoints and they take like a couple of minutes to walk to. And then there's like, this is the other thing, by the way, roaming around the open world, once you've explored it all, other than Helltide, there's not really much of a point to doing the open world, and you're just riding around your horse. Occasionally you'll just run into an area where there's just a freaking barricade and you literally have to either go around or get off your horse and fight the freaking enemies, and it's
Yep.
like, this is Blizzard, this is annoying. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know why
I
this
just
is here.
I just want to go from A to B as fast as possible.
I just want to get
I'm
to
in end
where I
game right
want to
now.
go. I don't want to be blockaded and fight 2 skeleton archers because they put up a fucking barricade. Like, this is stupid.
Blizzard's like, hold on, you got to kill those archers. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know why at some point in the end game they just don't. They just like just teleport to dungeons. Like you're
Yeah.
not going through the open world anymore outside of one thing. Like just let people teleport to dungeons. It's really not a big deal when you've explored everything at the end game. Like you get some item when you finish the game and get to a certain level, and they're just like, okay, use this to go to any dungeon you want. You can just pop open a portal to a dungeon. I don't
Yeah.
understand why that's not a thing. Like I get the whole like the idea is it's supposed to be an open world, so you're supposed to like roam through it. But like once you've roamed through it, I've
Yeah, it's
got
like
it.
I've explored the entire open world and I've collected all of the statues. I'm good. Like, and yeah, the horse cooldown is really stupid.
Why is it 10 seconds? Why isn't it just
If
like
you
a second?
Unless you're in town, if you get off your horse voluntarily, there's a 10-second cooldown before you can get back on your horse. If you get knocked off your horse, which means like if you take enough damage while you're on
Yep.
your horse, you just get knocked off your horse. The cooldown's 30 seconds
Why?
to get back on
Okay,
your
well, I
horse.
mean, that one is more understandable, but 30 seconds is really a long
I
time.
I mean,
30
for me,
seconds?
I think it should be, if you get knocked off your horse, it should be 10 seconds. And if you
Yes.
get off voluntarily, maybe it should be like 5 tops, but probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I don't know. Whatever. Weird design decisions in
yeah,
at work.
don't get it.
Don't get it.
Um, other things, they highlights of the dev chat. They talked about, people are complaining about stash space and inventory space, especially with respect to gems. Gems take up a lot of space in
Yeah.
your inventory.
Yeah, they do.
Um, and they said that this is going to take a while. We probably won't see this change until season 2, but what they're planning on doing at least, is making gems in the materials section, and so they won't take up an inventory or stash space at all. They'll just go into that like materials section of the character sheet.
Yeah, great.
Basically.
That's a great idea. Would love to see that.
Yeah, people were just asking for a gem tab, which I guess the only difference would be that like now they don't even take up a stash space, right? So
Yeah.
I think this probably in the long run is the better change. It's just gonna take a little while.
Yeah, that'd be
So
great. That'd be great.
What else did they talk about? There were like a couple other big things they talked about that I am blanking on right now. The big one for me was allowing us to teleport to Nightmare Dungeons from using the sigil instead of having to walk there. I think
Yeah,
that was the big one for me.
that's a good
Um,
change.
yeah, it is a good change. The gem fix is good too. It's just gonna take some time, as they said.
Yep.
They talked about some bug fixes and stuff. Like, there've been a couple of streamers here and there. This streamer Quinn69. He's had a hardcore druid he's been playing, and I don't know what level he was, but he had played something like 150 hours or something like that, and he literally died while he was porting to town. He finished a nightmare dungeon, was in the like immunity bubble at the end of a nightmare dungeon. He hit port to town. He got a it. He got to the loading screen. He got a hang on the loading screen, right, where like it just didn't load. So
Yeah.
he just closed the game and reopened it. And when he reopened it, it said his character had died.
Oh,
So he lost his hardcore character because
I've seen. Yeah, that's it's bugs and lag are the worst deaths I've
yeah
seen so far with hardcore. Obviously, those are usually the worst ones. But it's just like, oh, my game lagged, I'm dead. It's like, what? Fuck. Like,
yeah
that sucks. Just like a bug kills your 150-hour character. And the thing is, that character, Blizzard's not going to give you that character back.
no
They're
no
not just going to give it
it's
to you.
it's the risk you take with hardcore. If you play hardcore on when it's unstable or whatever, that is the risk you take. They are not going to give you your character back.
No,
It's
they
just
don't.
like there are streamer like Crip for example, before the game came out, is like, yeah, you're crazy if you play hardcore on this game comes out. It's not going to be stable enough. You're just going to lose your character to stupid shit, and
Yeah.
that's what's happened.
In
Like,
endgame, yeah. In endgame, your
yeah,
game's going to either lag or you're going to get some ridiculous bug. Your hardcore character is going to be done for. Like, I'm
yeah,
playing a hardcore character, but I'm not in endgame. So I'm not really worried
yeah,
about it. But, like, at some point, I'll probably pause the hardcore character and wait for this patch to come out. And be like, all right. I don't know. Oh, also, they're not going to reset hardcore characters. But, like, for seasons, they might do that. So I'm thinking also, like, for season 1, do you think they'll reset hardcore characters to the regular? Because there's seasonal characters. You can do
yeah.
like a seasonal character, which is the ladder character. Sorry, I meant the ladder character. So there's no ladder characters yet. Then there's
They're
hardcore,
not.
and then there's
I
normal.
don't think there's going to be ladder in season 1. So
Okay, but like I know in Diablo 2 Resurrected, for example, there's ladder character. You can do like seasonal character, ladder character, season character,
yeah,
where you start a character in a season, you try and get as far as you can during the season,
yeah.
and then after the season, it bumps down to a regular character.
Yeah, there's going to be seasonal character. Once season 1 comes out, there's going to be seasonal characters, and I'm sure there will be like seasonal hardcore. There will be
Yeah.
seasonal hardcore as well. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to talk about now that you talked about season that they mentioned, is that people are complaining about doing the renown grind
Yeah,
again
it sucks.
on seasons. People don't want to do it.
Yeah, it sucks.
And Blizzard is taking a bit of a middle ground approach on this one, where they said, however much of the map that you have revealed on your non-seasonal character, so if you've revealed the entire map, like you've gotten all the location discoveries and taken away all the fog of war on the map,
Yes.
that will carry over into the season. So the entire map will be revealed when you start a new character, and you will get all the renown for the location reveals at the start of the season.
Okay.
Same goes for the altars of Lilith. Every altar of Lilith that you have collected will show up on the map and already be collected in the season. So if you
Okay.
go around and get all the altars of Lilith, like I did, like I took like 3 hours one night and just used a freaking map and collected all the stupid altars.
Yeah.
Um, the stat bonuses from those, as well as the renown you get for collecting all the altars, will carry over into seasons as well. However, the side quests will reset, the strongholds will reset,
Yep.
the waypoints will reset with the exception of the main towns. You will have the main cities in each region, so you'll have to run around and click on the waypoints. I don't really get that one.
Yeah, I don't
But
either.
whatever. So yeah, strongholds, dungeons, and side quests will reset.
Yeah, that's fine.
You'll have to do those again. So you are not gonna have max renown. You're not gonna be able to get the third, the fifth.
Yeah.
They said generally in each zone you could have enough renown for the first two renown rewards, which was the first skill point and the potion.
Yep.
And then you'll have to grind up the rest. So
And that's for
bit of a middle.
That's for new
Bit
characters?
of a middle. That's for seasonal, like in season 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm confused. So I have an existing character, and when season 1 starts, all the side quests, dungeons, and such are going to reset, even though I have an existing character.
No, when you make a new character.
When you make a new character, thank you.
Yeah,
I was like, that's for new characters, right?
If you make a new seasonal character,
yeah, that make okay, got it.
That's what I explained is what
got
happened.
It. I was like, I'm so confused.
Your characters that you have made already, I don't think can ever be seasonal characters.
Yes,
those characters
that's right.
will be on the they'll be on the eternal realm as they call it, which is that's the realm that characters stay on, and once season 1 ends, your seasonal characters get transferred to the eternal.
Yeah, that's what
eternal realm.
That's what the other characters, like the ladder characters, whatever, were.
Yeah.
It's like it's a season. It's a ladder season. You play the season on one character, try to get as far as you can. Yeah, got it. I was thinking, isn't that what I just mentioned before? Like how they're doing the same thing basically. Yeah.
Except there's not. I don't think there's gonna. Like I said, there's no ladder because I don't think there's going to be leaderboards or ladder for the first season.
So, no, somebody's going to do a leaderboard.
I think they said eventually they will have leaderboards, but I don't think they're going to be in there for the first season.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. They'll get it eventually. But yeah, I think seasonal characters will be like. So there is a big incentive right now to try and like get all the other stuff as much as you can before the season starts.
You wanna unveil the entire map, so get all the location discoveries and get all the altars of Lilith before season 1 comes out, because that is gonna carry over to season 1 and every subsequent season that comes out. You're gonna keep all that stuff.
So big incentive for people, not even just necessarily getting to end game, just reveal all the stuff and get all the Lilith statues.
Yeah, reveal the whole map and get all the Lilith statues.
And that's like, then you can start playing your seasonal characters and do whatever you want. But like, if you're not going to get to end game, just do that.
And complete the campaign, obviously. Yeah, once you complete the campaign, you're allowed to skip the campaign on any subsequent character. You can play it again if you want, but there is a skip campaign button on the main menu once you've completed the campaign on a single character.
Yeah.
So
I'm just wondering, would you want to do that? I guess you would. Like,
the campaign is not efficient for like, if you want to like experience the story and the campaign again and get the XP for the story, but like if you want to level up fast, the campaign is very inefficient.
It's very
terrible.
much inefficient.
Like
you'd rather do. Frankly, you'd rather just do dungeons.
You'd rather, like, the monster density is terrible in the campaign, and you don't get enough EXP from the quests for it to be worth it. And some of the quests are very long before you get any EXP for them. So, yeah, the campaign is incredibly inefficient for EXP.
You're just doing, basically, you'll just do dungeons until you get to your.
Yeah, you'll probably just do dungeons, maybe some side quests. Side quests aren't that efficient either, but there are some quick ones that might be worth it. So
just to get like a pop of like 500.
Well, you're also gonna need to do the side quests for renown as well, I think.
Yeah, you have to do it for renown.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think those are the major highlights of the dev stream yesterday. I would say overall it was pretty good. It sounds like they're hearing some of the community feedback and they're working on it. Another thing they talked about is just like some of these changes are just going to take a while because they're saying they plan their releases pretty far in advance. They're like, we have season 1 done already, and that has to get certified, but for like Sony and Microsoft and all that stuff so they can release all that on. So basically everything they're doing for season 1 is done already, planned or done already. So anything else, so they were talking about changes that were going to come out in season 2. It's because like those things just didn't make it into like the season 1 content that they're doing. So
got it.
Things are getting pushed down the line a little further than you may think, because season 2 isn't going to be till like probably October. It'll be in the fall sometime. So
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense if the next season is supposed to, if the first season is supposed to start in July.
they said mid to late. They said mid to late July. So
Yeah.
in the next 4 to 6 weeks, probably.
Yeah, sometime in July, mid to late July, sure. Then you get August, September. You get like you get like almost 3 months. Let's just say 3 months for argument's sake.
Yeah.
You get like 3 months of a season. That totally makes sense. That makes sense for the timing of a season. Every time I think of seasons, I think of Halo now. Halo's like 10-month seasons. Okay. Any other things for Diablo? I don't.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm trying to play more of it, so I'm trying.
Yeah, it's good. I'm still enjoying it. I've been playing less, but the end game is pretty darn grindy. I'm level I don't remember, I'm 70 or 71, but I'm in the low 70s now.
Yeah,
So
I imagine it takes a long time unless you're doing well.
it
Even when
it
you're
ta-
doing certain things, it's gonna take a
it
while.
takes a long time.
All right, other Blizzard game, Overwatch. To put some context behind this, they already canceled their single player. I don't remember what it was called. I'm just gonna call it campaign. I don't
Yep.
have a better word for it. Their campaign, which was
Hero mode, hero missions, or hero mode, or whatever the hell
campaign.
the
It's a
campaign.
campaign. I mean, they already canceled that. Announcement follows hero mode being scrapped. Actually, I should just look at the screen next time. So they're going to charge $15 for access to upcoming story missions. So I'll read the update first. Blizzard confirmed to IGN that players will actually need to buy either of the invasion bundles to even access the PvE missions. Players must purchase either of the invasion bundles to access PvE. Missions won't be free, and access to story missions are part of the $15 bundle. This includes access to the content during the season and then access permanently after the season concludes. I have a question. So this is like a season-specific PvE. So they're charging $15 for it here. My big question is, the invasion bundle also gives you Overwatch coins and a skin. So you get some coins and a skin to come with it, which is a bonus, I guess.
Sure, fine.
The most expensive bundle to come out, there's a $40 one, which gives you skins, a coin, or some coins, 1,000 coins, Null Sector Premium Battle Pass with 20 tier skips. So you get like Premium Battle Pass with that. The price point ignited backlash, obviously, because people were like, you already canceled your other thing and it was only going to be $20. Now you're charging us $15 for a skeleton of that. And
Well, they're gonna charge you $15 every single time. Like they're gonna
that's
charge you
what I'm
$15
concerned
now,
about.
and then like in 1 or 2 more seasons, whenever they release the next set of story missions, they're gonna charge you $15
Right.
again for that set.
So
that set of story
that's
missions.
what I was
Like,
going to ask is like, are they just going to keep doing this bundle every
yeah,
time?
of course they are. Fucking course they are. What do you think?
What a crazy, like, Bobby, you already have 3 yachts. You don't need a 4th. You're fine without the 4th. What? The whole time I was looking at this, I was like, okay, so like, is it $15 for access to everything forever whenever you get an upcoming one, or is it like a $15 pop now, $15 pop again? Like, oh my god! So
No,
this is why they canceled the $20.
pop.
Yeah, this is why they canceled the $20.
Yeah, of course.
This
They're
is
like,
why they did it.
yeah, we'll just water down the campaign. We won't call it a well. Well, okay. They said they weren't gonna do the skill trees and everything that was gonna be in there, but like maybe some of what was there is still there, but they're tearing it apart so they can charge for it piecemeal. They can charge $15 every season or every other season or however often they release these stupid things. Like,
wow. I remember a time. Well, Overwatch 1 was paid for, so that was a little bit different. I remember in Overwatch 1 where you just got random free events in the game and things like that.
well, yeah, Overwatch 1 was you pay $50 or $60, whatever it cost, and then
you get all the stuff.
You literally they're like
you
get every subsequent hero, like obviously there were loot boxes and skins that you could pay for, but okay, fine. But like they didn't charge for any extra heroes in Overwatch. They said this, and I mean Activision was probably pissed and like, you know, wish they could go back on it. But when they say, you're not gonna have to pay for DLC for any additional hero after you buy the game, it's kind of hard for them to like roll that back
Right.
because people are gonna be
So,
pissed.
well, that was because at that time, that was still Blizzard actually in control. Blizzard was still kind of in control, so they were like, okay, like we're gonna just come out with like a game, a hero shooter game. We'll charge the 60 up front, and then we'll have some loot boxes, whatever. Like, we'll just that was still kind of like Blizzard was around. Well, now
Sure.
Blizzard isn't really around anymore.
No.
So Activision came in and is like, why are we only charging $15 once for all this? And I'm sure one Blizzard employee is like, because like, because it's just a campaign. And they're like, but can't we just break it up into like story missions and pay and charge them more for that
Yeah.
and throw in some coins to legitimize the price point? We just talked about how Diablo, like, they're doing some good things over there, seems like, and they're listening to feedback. And then we immediately turn over to Overwatch, and now I'm like switched back where I'm like, God, Blizzard sucks right now.
I mean, the
Like,
Diablo development team seems like they genuinely care about making a good game and making sure people like the game. The in-game store, by the way, for Diablo, we haven't talked about it too much, just to go back to it real quick, it's not good. Like, the one thing I will say is they do have fun money, but generally from what I've seen, the prices are unreasonable. Like, some of the skins, there's like $28 skin in there.
Yep.
But
I expected that.
If you buy the $25 bundle, you get 300 bonus coins. You have enough to buy the $28 skin if you buy. So it's not like you buy the $25 bundle and you get 2,700 coins, and then you have to buy another like $5 or $10 bundle to have enough to buy the $28 skin. So at least there's that, but the skins are absurdly overpriced.
Oh yeah, I expected that.
In the Diablo store.
That's why I don't look at the store.
Everything else.
I don't look at that store because that store is meaningless. That store is meaningless when you in the context of Diablo. But like, obviously, people are going to do it because they want to look cool. So
yeah, and they have $15 horse armor. So
yeah, it was fucking. Yeah, again, you don't look at that store because it's pointless to look over there. This is so, oh my god, it's so much greedier than I thought. I thought it was like $15 and you just get access to any future bundles.
Well, I guess I don't know for sure, but my assumption is it's the other way, where you're gonna have to pay for it every single bundle. You're gonna have to pay for it.
So much worse. It's so much worse than I thought.
Oh, Overwatch 2 sucks.
Yeah, Overwatch 2, like, the game itself is fun to play, but everything else sucks.
I mean,
everything else about it sucks right now.
The game is fun to play because it's still Overwatch.
It's still Overwatch, yeah.
It's like a fun, well-made game in the first place.
It's still Overwatch, so it's fun. But then you look at everything else, and you're like, this stinks. I hate this. Oh my god. Anyway, all right. I don't have anything else to say to this other than it's much worse than I thought it was, and I was thinking, oh yeah, $15 for all of them. You know what? Fine, like whatever. Throw in some coins, but nope. It couldn't have also just been like, if you buy the battle pass, we'll give it to you. Too, you couldn't just roll that in.
No, you have to buy a separate. You have to buy a separate bundle and then buy the battle pass.
Such a whatever. All right.